Now, from the area's leader in live local news, this is WYLN News, the area's #1 source of live local news and information in Luzerne, Schuylkill, Carbon, and Columbia counties. WYLN News starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on WYLN News. I'm Preston Endress. Voters across Pennsylvania came out to vote on Tuesday for the primary election. The election results are as follows. In the presidential election race, President Joe Biden beat out Dean Phillips with 93% of the Democratic vote, and former President Donald Trump beat out Nikki Haley with 83% of the Republican vote. In the race for the United States Senate, Democrat Bob Casey and Republican David McCormick ran uncontested and both received 100% of votes. In the 8th and 9th congressional districts, Matthew Cartwright, Robert Buchanan, Amanda Waldman, and Daniel Muser also ran uncontested and received 100% of the vote. In the Pennsylvania State Senate race, incumbents David Argel and Linda Schlegel-Culver both received 100% of the Republican vote, while their opponents Patricia Lawton and John Zugarek received 100% of the Democratic vote. For the Pennsylvania House of Representatives, incumbents Dane Watrow, Alec Rinkavage, and Edwin Pashinsky all received 100% of the vote. However, incumbent Michael Cabell in the race for the 117th Legislative District was beat up by fellow Republican James Walsh in a close race by less than 0.1% of votes. To view up-to-date election results, you can visit electionreturns.pa.gov. Luzerne County Manager Romilda Crocomo reports that Tuesday's primary election ran smoothly. According to officials, beyond some expected calls for assistance during the setup and opening stages of the election was completed successfully. Election results also reveal that 68% of Luzerne County voters voted to approve the formation of the commission to study the county's government structure. The 7 candidates selected for the commission will spend the next 9 to 18 months examining the county's current home rule government structure, which has been in place since 2012. Following their review, the commission will then make a recommendation for the county to either amend the existing charter, create a new charter, or leave the current charter as it stands. Emergency crews responded to the 800 block of South Main Street on Tuesday to rescue a man from Solomon Creek. According to officials, the man allegedly fell off his bike, ran away from the police into the creek, and was unable to get back out. Firefighters say they were able to get the man into a basket and pull him out of the creek and up the hill. The man was transported to the nearby hospital for treatment. His condition is unknown at this time. Coming up on WYLN News, police investigate a report of a stolen credit card. Plus, the Pennsylvania Theater of Performing Arts brings the musical comedy I Love You, You're Perfect, Now Changed to the stage this coming Friday. But first, we'll take a look at our 5-day forecast brought to you by the WYLN Weather Kids. We'll be right back.
My name is Alexander Bonomo. I'm 12 years old, and tomorrow's WYLN forecast is partly cloudy.
Weather Kids is brought to you by Lehigh Valley Hospital, Hazleton. Your health deserves a partner.
We want your child to be our WYLN Weather Kid. Your child can be our feature weather reporter of the day on WYLN News and WYLN social media posts, just by using your smartphone or any video recording device. It's easy. All ages are welcome, from toddlers to teens. To find out how, go to the weather section of WYLNTV.com or look for our post about it on the WYLN News Facebook page. Submit your Weather Kid video today.
Your guide to everything Pocono Mountains is PTN, the Pocono Television Network. Watch PTN on WYLN.
WYLN TV 35 is expanding and is on the hunt for a dynamic salesperson to join our vibrant team. If you've got the passion and the drive, we want to hear from you. Send your resume to the email displayed on your screen. Don't miss this great opportunity.
There's no better place to shoot than Whitetail Preserve. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicap accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 for more information.
This week on Let's Talk Chiropractic, tune in. I want you to watch and see what my technique package is like as a chiropractor and how it might be better or different at least if you're not satisfied with your chiropractor. So tune in.
Welcome back to WYLN News. A man is wanted by the Carbon County Sheriff's Office. Michael Wenzel is wanted on charges of simple possession, use or possession of drug paraphernalia, and DUI first offense. He is known to have ties to the Tamaqua and Hazleton areas. Anyone with information regarding Wenzel's whereabouts is asked to contact the Carbon County Sheriff's Office at 570-325-2821. South Abington Township Police are asking the public for help in identifying the individuals shown on screen. According to police, the suspects utilized a stolen credit card at the Wilkes-Barre Township Walmart. Anyone with information regarding the identities of the suspects is asked to contact the police at 570-585-2721. The Pennsylvania Theater of Performing Arts is bringing the musical comedy I Love You, You're Perfect, Now Change to the stage this Friday, April 26th. The show seeks to show the progression of relationships from first encounters to growing old together through a series of small stories glued together. The show will be performed at 7 p.m. on April 26th, May 3rd, and May 4th, as well as at 3 p.m. on April 28th and May 5th. Tickets can be purchased online at ptpashows.org or at the PTPA box office. The Pennsylvania Theater of Performing Arts is located at 212 West Broad Street in Hazleton. Coming up on Freeland's News Choice, Chris Fulmer takes us down the path through history with Summit Hill Part 4. Plus, we learn about the symptoms of strokes on this week's Wellness Wednesday. And stay right here on WYLN. We'll be right back.
Your guide to everything Pocono Mountains is PTN, the Pocono Television Network. Tune in and see all the unique places to stay and things to do in the Pocono Mountains. Watch PTN on WYLN.
PPW Nation, get ready for the best of PPW Season 2. Join Paul Bowe, E. Julius Kuiper, Alexander Bravado, Tom Mitchell, and Alex Watt as we take you down memory lane and relive some of the best PPW matches of all time. Saturdays at 5 p.m., Sundays at 10 p.m., only on WYLN. Do you like craft beer? Do you want to learn the right way to sample wine? How about checking out a restaurant with a unique flavor or a crazy food challenge? These are just some of the things we are featuring on Wine, Hops, and Road Stops. So, spend some time learning about great wine, great beer, and great food on WYLN TV 35.
Are you looking for a trustworthy publishing company to publish your book? One that understands the process and upholds Christian values in its business practices?
Introducing Covenant Books, an author-friendly publisher who shares your beliefs and wants to publish your story. Call us today to get a free author packet to help get you started.
We realize your book is unique, personal, and written with a higher purpose. That's the content we're looking for.
We provide authors freedom and flexibility throughout the publishing process with professional book editing, award-winning design, and some of the highest royalty structures in the industry.
Covenant distributes and sells your book online and in bookstores everywhere. We convert your book in ebook format and sell it on Amazon, Apple iTunes, and to these distributors. Our authors love us.
So if you've written a biography, a devotional, a memoir, self-help, or any genre, we can help. Be like these authors and get your book published and sold today.
Call right now for your free writer's guide.
1-800-215-3680.
WYLN programming is online all the time. Visit our website at WYLNTV.com to check out archive shows and a live stream of our broadcasts. And don't forget to visit all of our social media pages for breaking news, weather, and sports. You can also head directly to our YouTube page for all our programming at youtube.com/WYLNTV35. Subscribe and ring that bell so you get notified every time there's a new show available online.
By 1942, America had been swept into the maelstrom that was World War II. Among those that would be directly caught in the storm was Thomas Breslin, who had been born in Summit Hill in 1885. A graduate of Penn State with a degree in civil and mining engineering, he would make his way to the Philippines, where he had a government contract to survey the island of Cebu. He would meet his eventual wife there and have a street in Cebu City named in his honor years later. He then moved on to Luzon, where he became a prominent, well-known mining engineer. It was in 1941, however, that Japanese forces invaded the Philippines, intent on making the islands part of a greater sphere of influence for them. Although he was a civilian contractor and thus not connected with the government or military, Breslin was named a colonel by American forces and participated in the defense of Bataan. Despite his and the other defenders' best efforts, however, Bataan fell to the Japanese in April 1942. What then followed was the horrific Bataan Death March, where the Japanese troops forced their American and Filipino prisoners to march over 60 miles to detention camps, frequently beating and shooting those who could not keep up. Over 600 American prisoners and over 5,000 Filipino prisoners did not survive the march. After the war, the commanding Japanese general for the march, Masaharu Hama, and 2 of his subordinates would be convicted of war crimes and executed. For Thomas Breslin, though, justice would come too late. Badly weakened by malaria, he proved unable to continue on the march midway through and was hidden in a roadside ditch by his associates to avoid being executed by Japanese troops. He was found and taken home by a local Filipino civilian who tried to nurse him back to health, but in the end, Thomas Breslin died on May 10, 1942. He rests today at Fort William McKinley near Manila. While Breslin was meeting his end, his son Dick Breslin, who had also been captured at Bataan, would go through his own nightmarish time as a prisoner of war. Marched by the Japanese troops to a detention center, Dick would be put through forced labor for the remainder of the war, building an airport near Las Piñas, being forced to work loading coal in the furnaces of a ship near Taiwan, and finally put to work in a lead mine in Japan until he was eventually freed at war's end. Those who had served from Summit Hill came back to a town and region that was changing. Coal was starting to die out, and the mines were starting to collapse. Soon the coal region would find itself with an identity crisis, trying to find its way without its hitherto major industry. Summit Hill would have to face these questions many times over the years. Some things, however, never did change, such as the thrill of being able to go to the movies. The Capitol Theater gave Summit Hill residents this pleasure for many years, screening films until the 1950s. A father and son from Summit Hill would also make a mark in state government in the later years of the 20th century. Thomas McCall had been a prominent member of the Summit Hill and then Panther Valley school boards, as well as a career as a public relations manager for Mack Trucks, before he was elected to the Pennsylvania House of Representatives in 1975. He was served 3 terms in the body before he died on Christmas Eve night, 1981. In a special election, his son Keith McCall was elected to take his seat. Keith would have an even more successful career as a representative, serving 9 terms from 1982 to 2011. During his tenure, he would notably serve as chairman of the House Transportation Committee and was Democratic Majority Whip beginning in 2007. In 2009, he reached the pinnacle of his political career when he was elected as the 138th Speaker of the Pennsylvania House of Representatives. McCall held the post for 1 term before retiring. And even today, Summit Hill residents continue to make a difference in the wider world. Among the most notable of these is knowable geophysicist Maria Zuber, who was interested in planetary science as a young child. She would parlay this dream into degrees at the University of Pennsylvania and Brown University, and a research job at the Goddard Space Flight Center. She would also take a job in the faculty of MIT in 1995, eventually becoming the first woman to lead the university's science department. She was one of the leading scientists behind 2011's Grail mission to study the moon. In 2021, Zuber received her highest honor yet, when she was named by President Joe Biden as co-chairperson of the President's Council of Advisors on Science and Technology.
SJ Kowalski is your Mitsubishi Diamond Contractor. They can install a Mitsubishi electric Mr. Slim ductless heating and cooling system. Mr. Slim systems are designed to make any living space in your home inviting. You can have a different temperature control for every room in your home. The money-saving technology can save you 25 to 50% on your heating bill. For Mitsubishi, Rinnai, and trained comfort specialists, call SJ Kowalski at 570-455-2600. Hey, did you know WYLN posts news stories and other bonus content on social media all week long? The Weather Kids, Fresh from the Farm, Everyday Heroes, Let's Talk Sports, Feel Good Friday, daily news stories, and more. Visit WYLNTV.com, Facebook, and YouTube to check it out. WYLN, the local leader on social media. We're your local network. Like and follow WYLN News on Facebook for the WYLN News Midday Update. When it's serious, there's only one health network with seriously innovative health institutes. Lehigh Valley Health Network, your health deserves a partner. There's no better place to shoot than Whitetail Preserve. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicap accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 for more information. Like and follow WYLN News on Facebook for the WYLN News Midday Update, posted daily between noon and 2 p.m., powered by Lehigh Valley Health Network. When it's serious, there's only one health network with seriously innovative health institutes. Lehigh Valley Health Network, your health deserves a partner. When you see news happening in your neighborhood, call WYLN News at 570-459-1869 or email us at news@WYLNTV.com or send us a message on social media through Facebook. WYLN, we're your local network.
Hi, welcome to Wellness Wednesday. I'm Lisa Marie, and we're here at Lehigh Valley Hospital Hazleton, and we're here with our Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Anthony Wyln. Hi, Doc.
Hi there, how are you?
Good. So if you are aware, or maybe not aware, May is Stroke Awareness Month, so I thought it would be a great opportunity for Dr. Wyln to tell us a little bit about stroke, how we can avoid a stroke, and what symptoms of a stroke are. So, Doctor, let's get into it. Could you tell our audience, maybe those who don't know what a stroke is, explain it to them?
Sure. I think the best way of looking at a stroke, Lisa, is a brain attack. You know, the same way you have a heart attack where your heart doesn't get enough blood and then oxygen for a while and a piece of it actually dies. It's the same principle with the stroke. So I think concisely, think of it as a brain attack where a piece of your brain does not get enough blood flow, not enough oxygen, and subsequently that area dies.
Okay.
That's probably the best way of looking at it, and I think simplistically.
All right. So, you know, could this strike anyone at any age, or is it kind of at a certain time in your life?
Yes, the short answer is yes, it can strike anyone at any age.
Okay.
But obviously, like pretty much everything else, as you get older, all of this type of thing becomes more common, you know, because the risk factors start to add up as you get older.
Okay.
Vascular disease becomes more prominent as you get older. So the short answer is it can affect anybody, but certainly there is a relationship with age as well. Now, interestingly, though, and I may want to throw this in there, is we are seeing the incidence of stroke affecting younger age groups recently, probably because people are developing the risk factors earlier in life than previously. Some of it to do with lifestyle, blood pressure, things like that.
So what are some of the symptoms if someone was having a stroke?
Okay.
And let me do a second part to that. Is it different between a male and a female, or, you know?
It can be, but I think the best way, you know, just to keep it simple for folks, I think, you know, you've probably heard of FAST, which I think is a slogan, you know, that the American Heart and Stroke Association have out there for many years. I think that's a really good way of looking at it. You know, FACE is the F, which is facial droop, right? The S is speech. The A is your arm weakness. T is actually time, which isn't necessarily the symptoms, but I think if you look at those symptoms that they have had out there for years and years and years, facial droop, arm weakness, speech problems, I think those are the big ones to look out for. Believe me, the list of potential stroke symptoms is as long as my arm.
Sure.
And certainly you can get bogged down in the weeds with trying to, go over all of those. Even things just like dizziness, for example, can be a
Right.
symptom of a stroke in the posterior part of your brain. But I think for most people, and for purposes of our discussion here, I think those are the big ones to look out for.
Okay.
Would be, facial asymmetry or droop, weakness in an arm or a leg, one side of the body as opposed to
Right.
both, and speech difficulties, difficulty getting the words out. People can also have difficulty understanding, speech comprehension. So I think those are the big ones that we would want to really, drive home today.
So that goes right into that T for time.
Right.
Time is of the essence
Absolutely.
when someone has a stroke, and that could be whether or not they survive the stroke or whether or not they have those long-term effects of a stroke. So you see someone having these symptoms you just described, or yourself, what is your next step?
911.
Okay.
Very, very simply put, absolutely 911. As you mentioned, time is of the essence. And again, as I mentioned at the beginning of this, it's a brain attack, and just like we encourage people as soon as they feel chest pain to get to the ED, because time is heart muscle, time is brain, so 911, get to the ED as quickly as you can so you can get assessed and treated if possible. As you mentioned, there are treatments available now, which, if they're instituted quickly enough, can actually not only save a life, but potentially save you from having long-term ramifications and deficits, from a stroke.
So Lehigh Valley Hospital Hazleton is a primary stroke center.
Yes.
What does that mean to someone in the community when we say
Well,
that?
it's important. It means that they will receive the same state-of-the-art care here as they could expect at any facility in the country, and it will be up to the standards that are set forth. And so I think that should give them a sense of confidence that walking in our door would be the same as walking in the door at Cedar Crest or the Mayo Clinic or wherever, as a primary stroke center for that particular presentation. They'll get the same care as they will anywhere.
Awesome. So speaking of which, you also have, for the American Heart Association, you have the Get With the Guidelines for stroke.
Correct.
Could you explain how that is? And it's been years that we've been getting this.
Yes, we've been a Gold Plus recipient for stroke care for years now. I don't even remember how many, but I think
it's 12, to be honest.
I was going to say it's beyond a decade. I know that. And what that means also is that they can feel comfortable that year after year we are recertified as a real top performer. We have the highest level certification with that Gold Plus award, which is, as you mentioned, given out by the American Heart Association Stroke Association for our level of care to our stroke patients that walk in our door. So we've attained that. We've achieved it and attained, and I think that's real important because. Getting to where you want to go is one thing, and that can be a challenge, but keeping it there is even more challenging, and I think that speaks for the staff here at the hospital, that they've been able to get to that top achievement and have stayed there for well over a decade. It's really a tribute, to the care that they provide, for the stroke patients.
And thank you for leading that as well. I mean, this is wonderful things that we do
it's
here.
Team effort, believe me. I know it's cliche, but it takes a village.
It does. It really does.
It's just that simple.
Well, thank you so much for all this wonderful information. And if you have any of those symptoms, someone, time is of the essence. Call 911. Don't hem and haw. Get the medical attention, and it's just that important. I'm Lisa Marie, and this is Wellness Wednesday.
You're watching WYLN TV 35.